They called him Ethan, 28 years old, 6'1", 238 pounds, most of it excuses. He had a decent job, a decent apartment, decent friends, and a completely asleep soul. Every morning the alarm screamed at 7:05. He slapped snooze twice, rolled out at 7:25, showered, scrolled Instagram while eating cereal, and dragged himself to a cubicle that paid just enough to keep him comfortable and chained. One Thursday night he was doom-scrolling at 1:47 a.m. when a video hit him like a brick to the face. A voice, low and vicious, cut straight through the haze. Let me be real with you. You can walk into any bookstore on the planet and buy Success for $19.99. The problem is not information. The problem is, do you have the heart to do what the damn book tells you to do? Ethan's thumb froze mid-scroll. You can't buy discipline at Walmart. You can't buy drive. You can't buy effort. You either have the heart or you don't. The speaker kept swinging the hammer. What makes one man get up at 3:00 a.m. while another barely crawls out in time for work? It's not knowledge. The lazy one knows exactly what he should do. He just doesn't have the heart to do it. Ethan felt something inside him crack. Not sadness. Rage. Rage at every morning he had betrayed himself. He closed the phone, heart hammering so hard the room shook. He opened the alarm app and set it for 4 a.m. Then he sat on the edge of his bed in the dark and whispered, "Tomorrow the war starts." 4 a.m. The alarm detonated. Every cell in Ethan's body screamed, 5 more minutes, 10 more, just today. That voice, the liar, the saboteur, the same one that had ruled him for a decade. This time he answered it out loud. "Shut the fuck up." He threw the covers off and stood up. The floor was ice. His mind begged for mercy. He looked at the bed and said, "You're not my master anymore." He stumbled to the bathroom, turned the shower to full cold, and stepped in. It felt like 1,000 knives. He stayed until he stopped shaking. Then he laced up shoes he hadn't touched in 2 years and went outside to run. He made it 9/10 of a mile before he collapsed on the sidewalk, puking into the grass. He lay there gasping, staring at the stars, and laughed for the first time in years. He dragged himself home, stood dripping in front of the mirror, and forced the words out, "That's a bad motherfucker right there." Something ancient woke up behind his eyes. The next 6 months were pure brutality. 4 a.m. Wake-ups became non-negotiable. Cold showers. 2 workouts a day. Reading books instead of reels. Building an online business after his soul-sucking 9 to 5. Friends mocked him. His girlfriend walked out. "I didn't sign up to date a robot." His mother cried on the phone, "You're going to kill yourself." He didn't argue. He just kept showing up. There were nights he sat on the kitchen floor at 2 a.m., forehead against the cabinet, tears mixing with sweat, asking himself if it was worth it. On those nights he played the same speech again. "Cowards pull the gold out of the fire too early. Stay in the fire." One morning everything broke at once. He got fired. His savings hit 0. He stood under the cold shower whispering the only truth he had left. Stay in the fire. That same night he opened his laptop and launched the business he had been terrified to start for 4 years. He worked until sunrise, slept 2 hours, woke up at 4 a.m. and attacked again. He stopped asking for easy. He started demanding harder. He learned to love the things that hurt, because pain was the only honest voice left in his life. 2 years later, Ethan walked into the gym he now owned. 205 pounds of earned muscle. Eyes quiet. The kind of quiet that only comes after you've screamed your way through hell and come out the other side. A skinny kid was failing miserably on bench press, about to rack the bar and quit. Ethan walked over, put a hand on his shoulder and spoke softly. "That bar isn't heavy. The version of you that's scared to become great, that's what's heavy. Let him die right here." The kid stared wide-eyed. Ethan smiled the smile of a man who had buried his old self and never held a funeral. Later that night he stood in front of his mirror, same ritual, same words. "That's a bad motherfucker right there." Only now he said it like a fact, not a prayer. His company had crossed 9 figures. He still woke up at 4 a.m., not because he had to, because that's who he had become. Discipline was no longer a habit. It was identity. People asked for his secret. He gave them the only answer that mattered. I stopped listening to the instinct that said good enough. I declared war on weakness, and I never called a ceasefire. He still plays that original speech sometimes, not for motivation anymore, but as a reminder of the war he fought with himself in the dark. The alarm is still set for 4 a.m. Tomorrow he will attack the day again. Not because it's easy, because easy is for the people who pulled themselves out of the fire too soon. Ethan finally understood the brutal, beautiful truth. Your dreams don't live on the other side of inspiration. They live on the other side of discipline. All the men and women you admire, they didn't feel like it either. They just did it when the last thing they wanted to do was exactly what they needed to do. That is the skill you are missing. That is the magic. Forge it day after day, rep after rep, dark morning after dark morning, until your character is hammered into something unbreakable. Until the blade is so sharp, nothing on earth can dull it. And when someone asks how you did it, look them dead in the eye and say, I stayed in the fire until the fire had nothing left to burn but greatness. Then set your alarm for 4 a.m. The forge is still hot.